What's up? My name is Warren Freeman. I have a new haircut and I have a new episode. Warren's Vlog, episode 39. Um, this one I usually have like notes written down for what I'm going to talk about, but I'm just going to shoot straight from the hip with something that I've been thinking about the past couple of days. If I seem a little bit somber, there's personal issues going on in my life at the moment, and actually me doing this video is helping me not think about those personal issues. And for me, professional wrestling is an escape. I'm sure that those of you that are watching this video, or those of you that are fans of professional wrestling, feel the same way. It's an escape from reality, and that is the reason why I do these videos, personally for me, so that I can escape my reality and so that I can entertain you guys who watch my video, which may be only a handful of people around the world. I'm not streaming Facebook Live with this because I don't want to be distracted, which I do like the interactions I get from Facebook Live. It's funner to do these videos Facebook Live because I get feedback from the viewers, and I actually know that I'm getting viewers, as opposed to this. I'm just going to record it and put it on YouTube later. I don't know how many people are going to watch it. But enough about that. I'm rambling. What this video is about is how the WWE reuses and recycles storylines. Now, the particular storyline that I'm going to talk about that WWE likes to recycle is something I like to call, you could pretty much name it whatever you want, but my name I came up with it is basically the corporate champion, or the corporate puppet storyline. I don't know what I'm going to title this video as. Probably the corporate puppet. Let's just go with that. That is a storyline that the WWE reuses constantly. And I'm going to talk about that, but I want to give you some more examples of storylines that WWE likes to reuse. The corporate puppet is going to be what this video is about, but another example is, of course, you have the evil boss versus the underdog or the conquering hero, i.e. Austin McMahon, which was the originator of that. But out of that, you had Rock and McMahon in 2000, which was good, but it wasn't as good as Austin McMahon. A more recent example, of course, would be Daniel Bryan and Triple H, which that had a payoff that people actually enjoyed. But then you had Cena Bischoff, you had Vicky Guerrero and Edge, and then you had Vicky Guerrero and The Undertaker. You had basically insert any heel, GM, commissioner, general manager, and insert any top baby face wrestler. And that's what that Austin McMahon storyline basically created. As great as the Austin McMahon storyline was, it opened the door for a bunch of storylines that have that exact formula, or try to emulate that exact formula, that didn't actually work. Now, I talk about Austin and McMahon. The McMahon character was born out of course of the Montreal Screwjob. That's how the McMahon character came about, because as you know, or as you may not know, Vince McMahon was an announcer. He wasn't an on-screen talent. Well, he was an on-screen talent, but he was on-screen known as the announcer. That McMahon storyline, or that evil Mr. McMahon character, was born from the Montreal Screwjob, which is another tool, I'll say, that the WWE likes to use. Of course, Brett and Shawn is the first example of that. Whether that was a shoot or a work shoot or not, it might have been, the fact that happened in 1997, and people are still wondering whether that was a shoot or work, is up in the air, is amazing to me. But out of that, you had Rock and Mankind the following year at Survivor Series, which is, I'm going to get back to that because that's going to lead into my corporate champion stick. You had Rock and Mankind. I've seen it with, of course, Shawn Michaels and Shane McMahon. Sharpshooter, ring the bell. CM Punk and Undertaker, instead of the sharpshooter, it was the Anaconda Vice, ring the bell. It's just... And then recently with Natalya and Charlotte, which I think it was either a sharpshooter or a figure four, and they rang the bell. with Bret Hart at ringside, which was funny to me. But those are just two examples of storylines that the WWE likes to reuse. But the one, like I said, I'm going to focus on is in this particular video is that corporate champion or corporate pet angle. I mentioned Rock and Mankind. That was, of course, rehashing the whole Montreal Screwjob angle. But out of that came the corporate champion angle. When they did it with The Rock, it was perfect because The Rock was hot at that time. This was 1998. He had got some traction as a heel in the Nation of Domination, but he came out as the bigger star or the breakout star in the Nation of Domination, and he really got a lot of traction. He feuded with Triple H and DX. You know, had an awesome ladder match that year at SummerSlam 1998. So The Rock was really gaining a lot of traction. He was hot. The fans were starting to like him. So we go to Survivor Series 1998. There was a tournament to crown the new WWF champion. Daily Games tournament. It came down to Rock and Mankind. Rock locked in the sharpshooter. McMahon rang the bell. But what was born out of that was the corporate champion. The Rock became the corporate champion. That would last until WrestleMania 15, where he was dethroned by Stone Cold Steve Austin. But this corporate pet or corporate champion thing seems to keep happening over and over and over again in the WWE, and it's to the point where it's like it's annoying. So I used The Rock as the example as the corporate pet. Let's jump ahead from 1998. I mean, we've seen it between now and between 98 and now, but let's jump ahead from 1998 and let's go back to, and let's jump from 1998 and go to 2013. SummerSlam. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Or I'm sorry, Daniel Bryan versus John Cena for the WWE Championship with Triple H as a special guest referee. That match ended with Daniel Bryan defeating John Cena for the WWE title. So we think we're getting the payoff that we deserve. No, Triple H pedigrees Daniel Bryan. Out comes Randy Orton, who was kind of a tweener at the time. But you can call him a face if you want to. But Orton comes out, cashes in, and wins the title. And then Randy Orton became the corporate champion. Or in this case, it was the Authority. So Randy Orton became the Authority's champion for the time being. You know, Daniel Bryan would beat him for the title, but then he would get screwed out of it again, and it just a bunch of shit kept happening to where the title got vacated, but the title ended up back around Orton's waist. So Orton being the corporate or the Authority's champion. This would last. This would basically last until WrestleMania 30, to where he was dethroned by Daniel Bryan. But they even went so far with Randy Orton. Unify the belts. So, you know, he would defeat Cena again at the Rumble. He would win in Elimination Chamber, then he would lose the title at WrestleMania 30 to Daniel Bryan. So now we're in 2014. Daniel Bryan gets hurt. He has to lose the title. Then Seth Rollins that year wins Money in the Bank. Of course, this was after Seth Rollins had betrayed the Shield and became Triple H's boy. Again, I think you see where I'm going with this. Seth Rollins was the champion, but he was still Triple H's boy. He was still the Authority's pet. He was still the guy, or the man, as Seth Rollins called himself at that time, and still calls himself today on TV. So, Seth Rollins was Money in the Bank. He would cash in at WrestleMania 31 and become the Authority's champion. I mean, it is what it is. And now we go to 2000. Well, of course, Seth Rollins would get injured. I think October 2015 as far as ACL. And then that would be the end of that. Roman Reigns would win the title. Triple H would win the title. Then Roman Reigns would win it back, because we all knew that was going to fucking happen. Then Roman Reigns gets suspended and he loses the title to Dean Ambrose. And then that particular championship goes to SmackDown. Okay? So now we're in 2016. The brands are split. As I said, Dean Ambrose is on SmackDown. Now Raw has a title called the Universal Championship. Okay? And it looks like a fruit roll-up. I don't like it, but that's irrelevant. That's not what I'm here to talk about. So something happened a week ago, or actually 6 days ago, on Raw that was pretty momentous. Um, that honestly, that main event, the Fatal 4-Way for the vacant Universal title, was pretty tremendous and was pretty significant for multiple reasons. Triple H made his return to television. Uh, we hadn't seen Triple H since WrestleMania 32. He would pedigree Roman Reigns and allow Seth Rollins to eliminate Roman Reigns. We were all under the assumption that, okay, well, Triple H and Rollins are boys. They've been boys for quite some time, so he's probably gonna pedigree Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins is gonna win the title. But no, he actually pedigrees Rollins, and Kevin Owens pins him, and Kevin Owens wins the championship. Now, I'm not shitting on Kevin Owens' title win at all. I am actually ecstatic that Kevin Owens is the champion. I've been saying that they need to make him champion to establish him as a heel, as the ultimate heel. Because you have a face with Dean Ambrose on SmackDown as their champion, so it would make sense to have a face on Raw too. You need a dominant heel on Raw as champion, and Kevin Owens fits that role as a dominant heel. I mean, the guy is going to the mic. He's a great wrestler. He's an agile wrestler for his size. He has the look. He may not have like the chiseled body look that Vince McMahon likes, but to me, he has the look, he has the ability, he has the mic work, and he just has this bad boy, I don't give a crap aura about him that makes him a heel. And it's not like the dastardly like Joker. I don't know why Joker came to mind, but Joker's a bad guy and he's devious and he's just an outlandish heel, or bad guy in the movie. But Kevin Owens is like that dry heel that like I don't really care what happens, but I'm still a badass. It's hard to describe. He just has this nonchalant persona about him that me personally, I laugh at and just enjoy. So I'm happy Kevin Owens is the champion, and I'm glad they made that decision. Now, there's an article that I posted on Yes, and not everything on the internet is true, so I'm just reciting to you what I read. This may not be true, but it's an interesting thing that I read and I want to talk about. There was an article that came out that basically stated that Kevin Owens himself, nor Mick Foley or Stephanie McMahon knew the finish to that match. The last thing that those guys were told was that Reigns was going over, which is just odd to me, which that right there is a little sketchy considering that Reigns is still in the doghouse. But apparently, this is what I read, the original plan was, or what everyone was told, was that Reigns was going over. The only people that knew the finish to that match was Reigns, Triple H, and Seth Rollins. So, how true that is, I don't know. But Kevin Owens' reaction when Triple H pedigreed Rollins, either he is an amazing actor, or that was legit emotion coming from his face. I'll leave it to you to make your own decision on what that was. But here's my thing with Kevin Owens winning the title that I don't like. Okay, I already hyped him up and gave him all the praise in the world, but this is what I don't like about Kevin Owens winning the title. It's how Kevin Owens won the title. It goes back to that Triple H's boy, or the Authority's boy, or the Authority's pet angle. Now, Raw's tomorrow. Today is Sunday. Raw's tomorrow. I am not sure how they're going to run with this, but I'm pretty sure they're going to go with the Kevin Owens is now, I'm speaking as Triple H, because Kevin Owens is my boy. I mean, I used Seth Rollins for as long as I could, and he couldn't get the job done. So I decided to go with Kevin Owens as my boy, because I'm Triple H, and my throat's starting to hurt. Yeah. Anyway, that's where I think they're gonna go with it. Which again, damn near 3 years in a row. First, it's like, okay, you have Randy Orton as your boy, or the Authority's boy. Then you go from Seth Rollins, and then it's like, now it's Kevin Owens. Will they go that direction is unknown, but 9 times out of 10, that's the direction they're going to go with it. I can almost guarantee it. And the reason why is because the WWE is predictable. And not to get too much off topic, but I've actually already reviewed SummerSlam this year, but that was one problem I had with SummerSlam. It was just so tame, lame, and predictable. But anyway, that's basically my spill on recycled storylines in the WWE. And I hope that they actually... I hope that what I'm saying isn't true tomorrow on Raw, and they don't go with the whole Triple H's boy storyline, but I've got a feeling that that's what they're going to go with it. And the problem with that is that I feel like Triple H and Rollins is going to overshadow Kevin Owens as the WWE Champion, which is why I feel like that's why they're going to shoehorn the whole Kevin Owens, Triple H's boy, into it to keep Kevin Owens relevant as champion. That's my prediction. It's a negative outlook on it, but that's what I think they're going to go with. So basically, this has been... I'm going to wrap this video up. That's basically what I wanted to talk about. It's more me ranting about the WWE recyclable storylines. I'm probably going to do my Backlash predictions video. Well, I am definitely going to do my Backlash prediction videos this week. I wanted to do more Backlashes, or previous Backlash events, for you guys, just to review since Backlash is around the corner. But to be honest, I started binge watching Power, so I kind of got distracted. But I think I'm going to try to fit in at least one early Backlash this week, with addition to the prediction video, and then of course Backlash this Sunday review as well. So I'm gonna try to fit in at least 3 videos this week for you guys. Sorry I've been slacking. But again, if you want me to do videos, just comment below. Let me know what event, old WWE, new WWE, WCW, what have you. Just let me know what event you would like me to review, and I will watch and I will review for you. My name is Warren Freeman. I'm about to sign out right now. Before I go, it's Labor Day. No, today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Labor Day. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Be aware of checkpoints. Don't be an asshat. And just be safe on the holidays. And you guys, enjoy your holidays like I'm going to enjoy mine. And you guys have a wonderful night.